Paymo. Today we're going to explore whether Paymo is right for you when it comes to managing your team's projects and your clients as well. We're going to overview everything in this application, including invoicing, time tracking, and also the ability to manage your team's schedule as well and make sure their workload is efficient. So folks, welcome. My name is Francesco. If you're in the hunt for a project management tool or productivity tool, you can jump over to Toolfinder and get in-depth reviews and insights into which one is right for you. I'm eager to help you, and I'm eager to make sure you pick the right one so that you can stick for it as long as humanly possible. I hate when people move and that's stressful. I've done it before. Just make sure you don't skip. So let's find the right one for you. So Paymo, it's quite an interesting application. I remember checking it out a few years ago and being like, okay, this is nice. And it's evolved since then. It's got a way for you to manage projects, time track, manage your clients, manage your invoices, sort of like a project accounting time tracker in one. I'm just calling it a project management application. But let's dig a little bit deeper into some of the features that are part of Paymo. So first and foremost, when you create a new project in Paymo, basically everything's designed around time, the client, and the money. So typical things that most projects are based around. But you can add and associate a client to a project, which means you can track the monetary project value. And every time you add time, it can either associate that to the finances by updating the invoicing and timesheets as well. This is really neat because if you're somebody that works hourly as a freelancer or maybe as a marketing agency and you have a whole team and you're trying to keep track of how they're spending their time, what client they're spending time on, and what the budget is, then it's like all in one system, which is really nice. And there's quite a lot tucked away in this application. You actually can get calendar board, list, Gantt views all in this application, which is really nice. And what's really nice as well is you can manage all of that in one location for both projects, clients, and team member as well. So you can make sure you track like every aspect of the flow, which is really good. So as you can imagine, this application does have a lot of centered around time. If you're using this as one of the team members in your team, then they can start a timer for some of the projects that they're working on per task. And it's really helpful to track all of that time worked in one location. Now, the pricing side of stuff is slightly different when we're looking at other project management applications, but largely the project functions are quite good. You can manage tasks quite easily, you can set milestones really easily, and you can even set time quite easily because the time is in week view, calendar view, which is really, really easy to get started with. Now, each time you add time into something that might be billed hourly per project, it equates to an invoice, and that invoice can be managed from start to finish. So you can create the invoice from scratch, but there's a really nice sort of default structure. And you can go into settings and add your logo and all those fluffy bits like taxes and details like that. Then you can copy the link and paste it and see what it looks like. But what great is you can actually set up a payment process from the likes of Stripe or PayPal, which means the whole system end to end is set up. Now, it really will take a little bit refining. You can set up an email message that basically gets sent out, and that's really much more refining so that you can set up recurring invoices, one-off invoices, retainer-based invoices. You can even do estimates as well through this application and manage expenses that are coming in. So it's really all quite connected to the client and to the time that each of your team are working on the client. You can also manage time reports, timesheets, and team scheduling. These are all time-based stuff. But I would say the most powerful function of this, which is actually locked under the highest pricing plan, I'm sorry to show you this if it's something you're interested, but team scheduling is like workload management. You can basically assign bookings of people's time in your team to certain projects that you're working on, giving your team a bit of insight into where their schedule and their time should be spent, which is great for billable hours, client time, and making sure that invoices are all associated to it in the future. So this is a weird application because it's like a combination to a client management system for you internally, a project management system, a time management system, and an accounting management system. So it's well worth looking into it. And I think the pricing is pretty reasonable for it. Now, let's take a quick look at the pricing. Now, thank God I've got the US pricing up. The free plan is actually decent. You can have it for one user, gives you unlimited time tracking, unlimited invoices, projects, up to 3 clients and 50 tasks, which is really, really good. And they have a desktop and mobile application. And the starter and small office plan comes in at about $6 for the starter plan, and small office plan comes in at about $12, which I think is fairly reasonable. You get pretty much all of the features minus workload management, employee leave management, Gantt charts, and some of the other access to much more storage, which is great for files and discussions, which you can access inside of Paymo. But again, that's still $25 per user per month, which I think is fairly reasonable, and it's much cheaper on the annual pricing. When you go annual, apparently you get 2 months free when you pay annually. So this application is great for end-to-end management of a client-based project management system. It's not really a project management application in a way, because if I were to recommend this to somebody who was like looking at Monday.com or ClickUp or Team Gantt, I probably wouldn't recommend this, because this is much more optimized when you have a client in mind. The whole system makes sense when you've got a client in mind and you want to time track, you want a time sheet, you want to do all the team allocation. That's when this application makes sense, but maybe not as an independent project management software. Although it's possible, I think the optimized experience is for the client. Hopefully that makes sense. And if you are unsure of this application, you can hunt for as many project management softwares and do your research over on Toolfinder, which I'll link below. So thank you very much, folks, and I'll see you all very, very soon. Cheerio.